Hey y'all, what's going on? Now we are going to cover the workout from the 24th, so we will get all caught up, and here we go. It was squat and deadlift day, which means big lower body workout, especially with the volume. 10 sets of 5, 90 seconds of rest for both main lifts, and it was definitely a good workout. I got to the gym in the morning, which is something I've been trying to do more often. Before lockdown, I only worked out in the morning, actually. It was exclusively after training a couple clients. I would just get my workout done afterwards. And ever since then, ever since the return of the gym and getting back to resistance training, it's been mostly, honestly, afternoon workouts, early afternoon, mid-afternoon, and even sometimes late afternoon and going into the evening, which I don't prefer. I really don't prefer evening workouts anymore. I used to in the past when I was much younger, but nowadays I find myself enjoying workouts in the morning or maybe sometime in the afternoon, but no later than that. I got to the gym and I decided I'm going to throw in the Stairclimber as my warm-up. So lately I've been throwing that into rotation, whether as a lower body accessory or even a cardio warm-up. So I went onto the Stairclimber and just did a simple 5 minutes, 15 seconds, which brought me to 16 flights of stairs at a speed level of 5. And honestly, I thought it did a fantastic job of getting me primed up for squats. Now, I probably wouldn't be able to do a whole lot more than that, just because I don't want it to detract from the workout. But as long as I keep it pretty casual, it should be okay. Now for squats, I did the same usual warm-up set of 5 with 135, set of 4 with 185, and here's the 10 by 5 with 240. It was a good day, good squat day, no issues, and I'm happy for the fact that I was able to not only do paused reps, but you'll see some pretty good rest pauses at the bottom. Certainly not for all reps. Every rep has at the very least a significant stoppage where you can clearly see a stop at the bottom and a rest, or even just a little bit of a pause. But for some reps, and for a pretty decent amount actually, there's a good rest pause, like a full out rest pause. And even though that's not necessary, especially with the volume that I'm doing, I just decided why not. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty fresh. So let's do some anyways. Like that right there, that's what I'm talking about. That's a very good, significant pause at the bottom, which I will do, especially if we're talking lower volumes. And when I'm doing singles, I almost make it a must. Unless I'm going above, let's say, 85% of my 1 rep max, then maybe it won't be like that. But as long as I'm able to, I like to incorporate it. It's a good training modality. It's a good habit to get into. But for this kind of volume, no, I don't think it would be absolutely mandatory or essential. But we are still talking about 240 pounds, pretty light for me. And as a result, I'll put a stoppage at the very minimum. But for the 24th, it was just nice to be able to comfortably rest pause a good amount of reps, and at the very least, a good stoppage. So I'm just able to do that, and I'll do that pretty much whenever I feel like I'm capable of it, and as long as I know for a fact that I'll be able to get all the volume in, that's absolutely okay. I'm not going to push it too much like that going forward, but if I happen to have a good day and can rest pause a bunch of reps, I will. But under no circumstance would I say that it's something that I would beat myself up for if I don't. So even if I were just to kind of go through these reps, that would be okay. But since I'm still dealing with a light weight, at least for me, I should be able to at least stop, if not do a full out rest pause at the bottom. But that's really on a case by case basis. So quick warning, I did not do any accessories. So I'm not going to mention any because I didn't do any, really. But I do want to highlight something, and that is not only the fact that there were some really awesome women working out, but really to one particular woman who was working out, absolutely gorgeous, and has built herself a very impressive physique. And she was working out with another woman, another beautiful woman, but it almost gave the vibe as if she was a personal trainer. Now, she wasn't dressed like a personal trainer as if she was employed by the gym, but she kind of conducted herself as if she was training the other woman. Now, that could certainly not be the case. It could have just been two friends working out and having a good time. It's just that having been a personal trainer for 6 years now, it's something that you kind of notice when someone's coaching another person. It could very well be the case where she is a trainer and she was training a friend. I don't think it was a client per se, but it could have been that, or simply just could have been someone who knows enough about working out that they can coach another person. Of course, not officially, but someone who just wants to be able to help another person out. And that's always great to see. Not only for the fact that she has built herself a great physique, but at the same time, she does great exercises, uses good technique and good form. And I've seen her a number of times. I'm pretty sure she works out exclusively in the mornings, and I believe that's the only time when I've actually seen her, is when I get to the gym in the morning and do a morning session, and I'll see her just kind of here and there. But every time, it goes without fail. Her form is good, her technique is good, her exercise selection is good. Very impressive physique again, but it's just great to see. Not only do you see a woman helping another woman in the gym to build confidence, to build the physique that they want or reach the goals that they have, but also at the same time just seeing really good exercises. So I am appreciative of that. I want to see more of that. I really, really do, to help continue break that stigma of women and lifting weights. But aside from that, it was just great to see her again. She's the type of woman I would work out with any day of the week. If she wanted to work out with me, that's a simple yes. That's an easy yes. And also, I would be interested to see what choices she made and what kind of workout she would put together for us. But amazing woman, gorgeous, strong. Let's not forget that. She's very strong. And I hope to see her again sometime. Okay, now we are on to deadlifts. So, Sumo Deadlift, I did my usual set of 5 with 225 to start warming up, and then going to a set of 4 with 275. And here we've got the 10x5 with 335. And just like all the main lifts, we've got 90 seconds of rest in between sets, and it was a good deadlift day as well. So both lower body workouts, both lower body lifts went pretty well. And so, good workout. Now, when it comes to Sumo Deadlift, I usually, when I have run this in the past with Sumo Deadlift, I got to about 365, and then that's when it started to get pretty tough. If memory serves me correctly, I believe that's when I would be about where my peak week would be, or where my peak weights would be with all exercises. And 365 for a 10x5, let me tell you, gets challenging. At least it does for me. So I'll get through typically the first half without much of a problem, and then after that, that's when I start to get fatigued, because at the same time, I will be increasing the squat weight, so that's something to keep in mind. After you do 10 sets of squats, then going to 10 sets of deadlifts with progressive overload is not an easy task. So I think it's about 365 is where I normally peak off with, but we'll see what happens this time around. I'm actually quite interested. I do want to continue this program throughout March. I should be able to without problems. I don't think I'll extend it after that. After that point, I will want to decrease volume probably switch programming altogether, and I'll go from there. I'm not 100% sure where I'll go after this, but I'll decide that when I get towards mid-March or something like that. But I do hope to do this program for another month and kind of assess from there. But when I do that, it'll be so nice because it feels like a deload after you do any kind of workout that includes high volume like this. Even with undulating periodization, it gets to you. It'll burn you out. That's why you typically don't do these for long periods of time, usually a month, sometimes 2 months, and that's also pushing it, but it also does depend on where you start. So I started very conservatively, so I should be able to get to the end of March without much of a problem and being able to continually make the volume, but we'll see. We'll absolutely see. For the time being, I'm happy with the conditioning that I've gotten back and the strength that I've gotten back, and it's good just to not only be able to focus on Sumo Deadlift again, but also for the fact that I have been digging out old exercises that I just have not done in years, have not been able to, or have just preferred not to use, such as the cable crossover, such as the barbell lunge, things like that, which is good. I almost had forgotten some of those exercises that I have enjoyed. Tricep push down, cable curls, well, curling at all, really, because I stopped curling years ago. It's just not something that I really care for, and not something that I really bother including in any of my workouts. So the fact that I'm doing any curling at all is something. And so it's kind of nice. It's a little bit nostalgic, but even then so, I'm still getting something from them. And that's pretty much the workout, more or less. And really from here, it's going to be staying on pace, really doing my best to keep the schedule. I did have one interruption last week, and that was just a day. So instead of doing the first 2 workouts back to back, I put a day in between, and that was okay. Then I just went and treated it as if it never happened and just went right back on schedule. So hopefully there won't be interruptions, and I'll be able to be as consistent as possible. But that's it pretty much. So really for the rest of the video, I just want to mention, one, I was just very motivated by the women working out, and I know I talked about that already, but it's worth repeating because I really want to see more of that. And as long as they bring good intentions, good form, good technique, that's all that I could really ever ask for. And some who I would absolutely love to work out with, but at the very least, they're doing their thing and they're doing it very well. So I want to see more of that. Also, it's funny because when I got done with deadlifting, I thought about accessories, but at that point, all the women who were working out were done and they left, so I left too. I just thought that was kind of funny. Alright, y'all, thank you so much. Take care and adopt, don't chop.